Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' It's D. About to react to this vid by Hello Yassine. This is How the Weeknd Finessed Drake. I want to know why they fell out, because I know they had some type of beef over like some label stuff, but I never knew the details. But apparently the Weeknd did the finessing. Okay, let's see what happened. Let's watch.
The Weeknd and Drake have a very complicated relationship.
Oh, this was peak Weeknd. Oh, when he had these tree locks, his music, when he cut his hair, he looked a lot better, but the music.
But it all started from when The Weeknd was just a fresh, faceless, but talented artist, and also a dash of cleverness.
Oh, I loved him in
Welcome
his
to episode
crackhead
20
era.
of our series comparing his story from the book 48 Laws of Power to a story in music. Law 20 reads, "It is the fool who always rushes to take sides. Do not commit to any side or cause but yourself.
Period.
By maintaining your independence, you become the master of others, playing people against one another, making them pursue you." In particular, regarding The Weeknd, if you allow people to feel they possess you to any degree, you lose all power over them. By not committing your affections, they'll only try harder to win you over. Stay aloof and you gain the power that comes from their attention and frustrated desire. Play the virgin queen. Give them hope, but never satisfaction. A historical example of the
Damn, a nigga did that to me. I had to just walk away from the situation because that was the first time I ever felt like I was being played with. Well, I definitely felt played before, but that like was very eerie because it described a situation I was in that I had to remove myself from. I'm like, this nigga, like, you acting like you fuck with me, but then you kind of don't. So I kind of played into it for a little bit, but I was like, I feel like I'm doing too much. I got to get the fuck out of this situation. Anyway.
Queen relates to their history perfectly. It's 1558 in England, and Queen Elizabeth I is missing one important piece of the puzzle: a husband. They wanted her married as soon as possible, but there was plenty of debate regarding who she should marry, and as soon as possible would slowly turn into years. This wasn't for a lack of options.
Was he doing that shit on
Clearly,
purpose?
The highest
Bitch.
of nobility were courting her hand in marriage,
Fuck
and while
you.
she didn't outright reject them, she was nonchalant
Fuck
and gave
out
off the vibe that she was in no rush. Even rulers of other countries throughout Europe were interested in marrying her. The King of Spain, the Prince of Sweden,
I
and the
don't really
Archduke
care
of Austria,
about this.
because they knew this would guarantee their country
Let's,
a strong alliance with England. If you mapped out what she said she was looking for in a husband over a period of time, you would realize that she was constantly contradicting herself.
And that's funny. I feel like I read this book, and this is what turned me off from the book. It's all those fucking stories. I was like, oh. Especially like old ass stories like this, and this happened in the 1700s. I don't care. I don't want to hear about this.
And this was intentional. She never argued and said she didn't want to get married, but she was playing a game.
The
And
48
the Virgin Queen would become almost a mythical
I read
figure
that.
for all the men that wanted their chance with her. There was a small diplomatic issue, though, which was the revolt of the Flemish and Dutch lowlands, which were in
Get to the
possession of Spain, with
Weeknd.
which England had
Okay, yeah,
an
no, I
alliance.
gotta skip this, brother. I
If she
don't
didn't want to get
care.
married, that would be ridiculous.
Y'all check out his video. I'm gonna put it in the description if y'all want to hear this story. I do not.
But by using the potential of marriage to create strong alliances for her nation, the Weeknd would employ the same tactics as Queen Elizabeth did, albeit in a different manner and time. Drake and the Weeknd are both from Toronto, and while Drake wasn't directly the first person to show him love, it was Drake's brand, October's very own, and Drake's manager and right-hand man, Oliver El-Haddad, who would post 2 Weeknd songs in December of 2010
And he
on
put
their
him
blog
on
titled
Take Care.
Introducing the Weeknd. Drake would then officially co-sign him on Twitter on March 6, 2011, with a tweet quoting,
Oh, that sounds
"Bring your love, baby, I could bring my shame," with
Bring
a
your
link that would
love,
bring you
baby, I
to
could
another
bring my
blog post
shame.
that had a photo of the Weeknd
I
with
got
a
my
link to
heart
download the song
right
Wicked
here.
Game, and it read,
I got my
OVO
scars
XO
right
Gang,
here.
faded too long, theweeknd.com. Keep in mind, all of this is before the Weeknd's first mixtape, House of Balloons. They may have already been working together at this point because fans in the comments were excited for the up-and-coming release of Take Care, an album that was largely a collaboration between Drake and The Weeknd.
This is not the
Drake
cover.
would appear as a feature on The Weeknd's second mixtape, Thursday, on the song The Zone. Drake would also have The Weeknd
I love
perform
that.
at OVO Fest that July. These were already 4 big looks that Drake was giving The Weeknd. At this point, every record label was reaching out to The Weeknd. But instead of signing a record deal, he remained with Drake, playing the field. A record deal isn't far from a marriage, business-wise. He would be married to that company or record label, and if it was Drake's OVO label, other label offers would cease to exist. And if he decided to marry and sign to another record label during this time, Drake would pull back his support. Leading up to the release of Take Care, Drake would tweet out OVOXO, Take Care, Echoes of Silence on October 22nd, 2011. OVOXO would become a recurring theme. Echoes of Silence was the highly anticipated third project by The Weeknd that would release in December, and Take Care would release in November. But, leading up to it, Drake would be interviewed and say the following about The Weeknd's involvement in Take Care. He's like a writer, collaborator on 4 songs on my album, which I'm very proud of, Drizzy told MTV News. I usually like to write all my own stuff, but we get it. We try to tap into the same emotions because we're from the same city. When asked about their business relationship, not much was offered up. He's not signed right now. He's still in the city. He hasn't left. He's never been on a plane before. I don't think he's ever left the city. He's a real Toronto kid that's just one of the most talented people I've ever come across. After being pushed a bit more on if there are any benefits, Drake replied, "It's really nothing more than I support him. Oliver, who's my manager, also along with Cortez and G, brought him to me and we're just involved in his career, man." Take Care would release on November 15, 2011, with The Weeknd featured on the song Crew Love. This album eventually becoming a classic album and winning a Grammy for Best Rap Album. The Weeknd's stock is sky high, rolling into 2012, and 6 months later, he still isn't signed to anyone. As far as on paper, it's all being worked out, but that's not really what counts anyway. What counts to me is the fact that the affiliation is known, and that's all I really care about. Drake would say in an interview with Sway during a tour stop in Houston on his Club Paradise tour, much like Queen Elizabeth's virginity would become a mystery that would only grow her popularity, so too did the mystery of where The Weeknd's allegiance lied. I want to continue being involved in his career and vice versa, and keep making music together, because you take songs like Crew Love and The Zone. That's what people wait all night to hear. But that wasn't on The Weeknd's mind, because on September 11, 2012, it was announced that The Weeknd signed a partnership with one of the biggest record labels, Republic Records, with his own imprint, EXO, and was set to release his project Trilogy, which was a compilation of House of Balloons, Thursday, and Echoes of Silence that November. Drake didn't take too kindly to that, tweeting out, "You won't get away with just a thank you. You owe me a favor." The Weeknd had played the field and got the best deal possible. He would own his masters, got co-signed and pushed by one of the biggest rappers in the game at that point, and built up his own massive fan base in the process.
Drake, shut the fuck up. He didn't ask you to do that. You did that because you said you fuck with him and he was talented. And he even helped you write 4 of your punk ass songs on your album. So what are you talking about? It seems like it was a mutually beneficial relationship. So why are you trying to act like, oh, I made you? I mean, you did push him a lot. I'm sure you did contribute to his success. You know, leveling up to the next level, but stop trying to act like you did him a favor completely and you got nothing out of it. Y'all both benefited.
All by not committing to anyone but himself.
Crew Love is only as fire as it is because of Weeknd. Let's be fucking clear.
So,
he made that song.
When asked about it in the 2013 complex cover to anyone, and built up his own massive fan base in the process.
As you should.
All by not committing to anyone but himself.
Period.
So, when asked about it in the 2013 Complex cover story and the lead up to the album release for Kissland, The Weeknd said, "The thing about Drake is, I told him what my decisions were going to be, and he was down with it from the beginning. I told him from day one what my decision was going to be," he continued. "I wasn't going that route. I was going to go my own route, and he supported me, which may make sense because it was OVOXO. It was never just OVO, but perhaps Drake thought that they were going to have a deal." He would also say, "I was hungry."
Drake sensitive ass thought that he could change his mind. He was like, okay, I'm gonna get him eventually. No.
I was like, dude, take anything. I gave up almost half of my album. It's hard. I'll always be thankful. If it wasn't for the light he shined on me, who knows where I'd be. And everything happens for a reason. That said, you never know what I would say if this success wasn't in front of me now. The Weeknd didn't make the mistake of signing to Drake. Perhaps he saw the experience of what it was like giving away half of his own album to feed someone else's career, and recognized the conflict that would arise from that in the future. After all, another incredibly talented example we can look at is Party Next Door, who has on multiple occasions voiced his own frustration with lack of commercial success, attributing it to his label situation, despite having written one of the biggest hits of the past decade, one of them being Rihanna's work. However, following this too closely can have its drawbacks, and the reversal reads, if you keep your growing number of suitors waiting too long, you'll inspire, not desire, but distrust. People will start to lose interest. Eventually, you may find it worthwhile to commit to one side, if only for appearance's sake, to prove you're capable of attachment. Queen Elizabeth made it seem like there was a winner of the race at one point, albeit not marrying him. If she had not done that, people would have eventually recognized that she had no intention of ever getting married. The Weeknd signed with Republic after getting an incredible deal. Had he kept pushing things longer, more months, or even another year, Drake and others would likely recognize that he was just playing around and wasn't interested in closing a deal with any of them, leading to Drake pulling back his support. It's a delicate balance.
I don't see the problem. He did what was best for him, as he should. And it seems that Party Next Door did the opposite thing. He let Drake take, on his career completely, and look what happened. That's just an assumption. I don't really know the details of this industry shit. But, yeah, look what happened with him. And Party Next Door is really talented. He has some fire music. But, yeah, he didn't take off like he should have, which really sucks because I really like him as an artist. So it's unfortunate that, he didn't get, I guess, the promotion he deserved or whatever the case. But, yeah, I think Weeknd did exactly what he should have done. He played this very, very smart. I didn't know all of this, but this makes me respect him even more. Drake, shut your ass up. He did what was best for him, period. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.